welcome once again to the Defense Chronicles. This is Leslie Bocobo. Tonight we have with us once again Senator Francisco Kit Tatad. Good evening, Senator Tatad.
Good evening.
I'd like to draw your attention, sir, to a letter you sent to Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile, dated March 14, 2012. It's a three-page letter. Can you please briefly tell us what this is all about?
Well, it's a letter drawing the attention of the impeachment court to a ruling that was previously made prohibiting the issuance of subpoena to members of the House of Representatives whom the defense may wish to call as witnesses.
Yes.
I thought that it was an erroneous ruling, or a ruling that can be improved upon. The basis of this ruling was an earlier ruling which said that the court cannot subpoena members of the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Because that would intrude into the separation of powers. And if the Supreme Court should say that justices may not respond to a subpoena, then that might produce a clash between the two institutions, and so that should be avoided. I feel that there is no parity between the members of the Supreme Court and the members of the House of Representatives in this instance, because the impeachment process belongs entirely to the Congress. It is initiated by the House of Representatives and it's tried by the Senate. So every member of Congress, meaning both houses, is part of this process.
Yes, yes.
No one can stand outside of this process. So there is no constitutional breach, no parliamentary breach if the court calls in a member of the House as witness. Moreover, the rules of the Senate on impeachment trials allow the calling of a senator as witness.
Yes.
So this is Rule 16 of the rules. There are 25 rules in these rules, and this is Rule 16. It says that if a senator is called as witness, he or she shall be sworn and give his or her testimony standing in his or her place. It's very clear. At any time, the court can call a senator to the witness stand, except that he does not take the stand. He just stays where he is and testifies.
From his chair.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why should a member of the House have a privilege not accorded to a senator? I don't understand that. And I don't believe it's possible to explain the discrimination. So I'm hoping that the court will act on my letter, although I am writing as a private citizen. I have no legal standing in the court because it impacts on the rights of the accused. You've been witnessing the trial since the side of the defense began. There seems to be a sparsity of witnesses.
Yes.
They need members of Congress to testify to certain things. For instance, there were two congressmen who told conflicting or at least different stories about the leaked document from the bank.
Yes.
That was used to pry open the bank accounts, the bank records of the Chief Justice.
Yes.
Now, these two congressmen appeared in court, were asked to say something without even taking their oath. So if they lied in that particular instance, they could not even be charged with perjury because they were not under oath. Now, I believe the defense may want to call these two congressmen.
Yes.
To shed light on a few things about that leaked document.
Now, Senator, speaking of members of the House, just a few minutes ago we heard the majority floor leader ask the presiding officer, Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile, to make a ruling on the motion of the defense to cite a member of the House for something he had done based on the testimony of another member of the House just a few days ago. What can you say
The
about
majority leader of the House was reported in the media as threatening another member of the House who
Yes.
came here to testify. So he was threatening a witness.
Yes.
And I believe that is that is behavior that is at least subject to censure. Now the court decided to reject the motion of the defense. Well, understandably, because again, this is
They don't
so-called
want-
parliamentary courtesy. Parliamentary courtesy. But the guy is not being courteous to the Senate proceeding. Threatening a witness is no expression of courtesy.
So you believe he should
So,
appear? He should.
I believe the Senate impeachment court has a right and a duty to at least call the attention of any member of the House who acts in that manner. You know, if it is not a reprimand or a censure, at least it should be a communication, an official communication to the particular officer to kindly desist from doing that or to apologize for the offense that he has committed, because it is an offense to the court.
But it could be also based on an oft-repeated statement from members of the impeachment court that as much as possible they would like to avoid a direct clash with a co-equal branch of government. Perhaps they're thinking
Yes,
that,
but this is not a co-equal branch of government. This is part of the Congress,
Okay.
which is now in charge of this impeachment process. So it does not hold. I mean, they are all in this together, so they should act as one.
yes, in unison.
You know, they should extend the basic courtesies to each other.
I'd like to point out to you, Senator Tatad, earlier when the impeachment resumed today, Senator Judge Miriam Defensor Santiago directed her questioning to the prosecution. She wanted to point out and asked her if there was an intent on the part of the person they were impeaching to be dishonest in his declaration of his SALN. And on the other hand, she also pointed out to the defense and asked her if their client, Chief Justice Renato Corona, had declared all of his bank accounts in good faith.
Well, I understand. The basic question really is, what is an impeachable offense?
Yes.
You know, under the Constitution, the grounds are very clear. Culpable violation of the Constitution, treason, bribery, graft and corruption, other high crimes, or betrayal of public trust. Now, where does a failure to file a statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth fall? Where does the failure to be completely accurate in the statement fall? So, assuming that the Chief Justice deliberately omitted certain items in his statement, misdeclared, what is the penalty prescribed by law? I believe the penalty prescribed by law and quoted by the Senator judges is that the party concerned is asked to correct the errors or the misdeclaration. As I was saying originally, that the penalty prescribed by law is for the declarant to be asked to correct his mistake or misdeclaration. That is the penalty. So is that equivalent to culpable violation of the Constitution or to betrayal of public trust, which necessitates the removal of an impeachable official from public office?
Well,
So this is the basic question.
that's right, Senator Tatad. And we witnessed Senator Joker Arroyo ask both the defense and the prosecution, he asked this question. Is a correctable offense an impeachable offense?
Yes, precisely. That
right.
is tautological almost, no? Okay. So that will be the subject of a memorandum from both sides. But that question illustrates to you the fact that this impeachment trial is now proceeding on the basis of very little that is not probably worth really the trial itself. No. Previously, I was saying that the testimony of Congressman Tiangco,
Yes.
which some people consider irrelevant, is to me of utmost relevance because it showed that contrary to the provision of the Constitution, the basic provision on impeachment, which says that the House shall have the exclusive power to initiate all cases of impeachment. This particular impeachment case, which has now entered its 9th week of trial, was initiated primarily by the President of the Philippines, not exclusively by the House of Representatives, in which case it is void ab initio. But it is not the Senate that will take cognizance of this issue, it will have to be the Supreme Court. And there are petitions before the court. They have remained pending. There are these 6 petitions coming from private parties that have been consolidated, I understand. There is at least 1 petition coming from Chief Justice Corona himself. Now, I can appreciate the hesitation of the justices because of the intense propaganda against the Supreme Court. The claim of the prosecution is that any attempt on the part of the Supreme Court to act on any issue related to this trial would be an intervention that will be resisted by the Senate. No, but you're talking of a constitutional issue where the Senate has no authority to rule. Only the Supreme Court has the authority to rule. It will have to rule.
Senator, you are a veteran of a past impeachment trial of a former president, and you obviously have more wisdom when it comes to impeachment trials in the Senate. Where do you think is this leading to? People are kind of they can't wait anymore for more time. They want things done quickly.
Well, you have before you just another 3 days of trial before the legislative break gives 6 weeks of rest from this.
Is this break good for the prosecution or for the defense?
We don't know. Okay. We don't know. But one thing sure is that the public excitement has died down, and I think people are able now to think more clearly about the real issues. They will begin to see that there was really nothing here.
Do you think the public has already made its own judgment?
I don't believe so. I think they're watching developments. But one thing salutary, one thing that we should welcome is the report that quotes the president as saying he will no longer say anything about the impeachment trial.
Yes.
And that is healthy for him, healthy for the process.
And you believe he will do so?
Well, I'm hoping that he would do so.
What about his spokesperson?
Well, it's one and the same thing. If the spokespersons continue, that means the office of the president is still very much actively involved. And so his statement meant nothing. But I'm hoping that, the palace has realized that the more it gets involved into this, then the greater risk it takes in case the accused is acquitted. Then what happens to the presidency is the real question that will tear this country apart.
Senator Tatad, thank you once again for your time.
My pleasure.
Thank you for joining us once again with the Defense Chronicles with Senator Francisco Kit Tatad. This is Leslie Bocobo.